Okay, so today we're going to look at doing length measurement conversions. So for example, if I have 8 inches and I want to know how many centimeters that is, I need to make a conversion. So to convert, we're going to use proportions. We've already talked about solving proportions through cost multiplying. So all we need to do now is set up a proportion using our length conversion and then solve it. So in order to convert anything, you need to know the conversion rate. So in this example, since we're going from inches to centimeters, we need to know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. I will always give you that information. You don't have to memorize it, but it is really important to solve the conversion. So our first step with conversions is to find the conversion rate. Like I said, I will give them to you. You don't need to memorize them or anything like that. Then step 2 is to set up the proportion. So the proportion always sets up the same way. We take our conversion rate, which in this case is 1 inch, is 2.54 centimeters, and we put it in a fraction. It doesn't matter what goes on top or what goes on bottom. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So that's the first fraction in our proportion. We're going to have another fraction because proportions have to be 2 fractions that are equal to one another. So I need to put 8 inches in my second fraction because that's part of the question. I'm going to put it on top in the numerator because inches have to line up with inches, and inches are on top in the numerator in the other formula. So now you can see that my inches line up. Okay? In the bottom is going to be the centimeters. The centimeters that I'm looking for. But since I don't know them, I can just put an X there. And now my proportion is set up. I can get rid of the units if it's easier to look at. 1 over 2.54 equals 8 over X. Okay? So to solve this, similar to the proportions we've been talking about, our first step is to multiply on the diagonal. So we would have 2.54 times 8, which equals 20.32. And then we divide by the other value. Okay, so 20.32 divided by 1. Now, in previous examples, we filled that 20.32 back into the fraction, the proportion. This time we don't have to. We're just going to say X equals 20.32. So that tells me that 8 inches is 20.32 centimeters. Okay, so that's my answer. So let's look at a few more examples, and then I'll let you try some on your own. All right, so let's have a look. The first one is convert 6 meters to yards. So before we can do anything, we need our conversion rate. So I will tell you that 1 yard is equal to 0.9144 meters. That is our conversion rate. So let's go and solve the problem. So now that we have our conversion rate, we can set up our proportion. We take our conversion rate and make it into a fraction. It doesn't matter what goes on top or what goes on bottom. And then our other fraction, we need to put our 6 meters in it. So because I have meters on the bottom in the first fraction, 6 meters has to go on bottom in the second fraction, and I can just put x on top. Okay. So I multiply on my diagonal, and I get 1 times 6 equals 6, and then I divide by my other value. So I would end up with 6 divided by 0.9144. And I get 6.56. So that tells me that x is 6.56, which means 6 meters equals 6.56 yards. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to convert 3 miles to kilometers. So first we need our conversion rate. And I will tell you that 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometers. So that's our conversion rate. Again, you don't have to know those. I'll give you a list of them to make life easier. So we make our fraction with our conversion rate. 1 mile over 1.609 kilometers. Then I have to put 3 miles in the other. So I'm going to multiply on the diagonal, and I get 1.609 times 3, which is 4.827, and then I'm going to divide by my other value, which in this case is 1. So 4.827 divided by 1 would just be 4.827. So that tells me that x, the value of x, is 4.827, or that 3 miles is 4.827 kilometers. So what I would recommend doing now is give this video a quick pause and then try the last one. So the conversion rate is that 1 foot. Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. 1 foot is equal to 30.48 centimeters. So take a few minutes and see if you can solve this one using proportions, and then press play again and see how you did. Okay, so let's set up our proportion. 1 foot over 30.48 centimeters. 4 feet has to go in the numerator to line up. If you put feet in the denominator and centimeters in the numerator, that's fine. You'll end up getting the same answer. So we multiply on the diagonal. 30.48 times 4, which is 121.92. And then we divide by the other value, which is 1. Which doesn't change our answer. So the value of x is 121.92, which means that 4 feet is 121.92 centimeters. Okay, and that's it. That's how you convert length measurements. We can actually use this trick to convert any type of measurement or any type of value that has a conversion rate. So mass, volume, even money, even currency can be converted this way.